Form DIR 12 deals with the particulars of appointment of directors and key managerial personnel and the changes among them. In point number 1, select any one of the options, either new company or existing company. In point number 2, enter valid SRN or CIN of the company. In case of an existing company, enter a valid CIN which you may find by entering existing registration number or name of the company in the Find CIN service available under the head MCA services on the MCA website. While in case of a new company, enter SRN of eForm INC1 filed for name reservation. Then click on the Prefill button. In case of existing company, the name, address of the registered office and the existing email ID will be reflected. If there are any changes in the email, please do not forget to do the necessary changes. In the next point, if the company is a new one, the name of the company will be reflected and other fields will be disabled and are not required to be filled. In point number 4, enter the number of the managing directors for which this form is being filled. In the following point, you need to enter the approved DIN and click on the Prefill button. The system will automatically display father's name, present residential address and all the details of the person. Select the status of the person in the company. Select the designation of the person. In case of change of designation, select the new designation. In case of cessation, select the same designation as at the time of appointment or change in designation. In case of appointment, enter the date of appointment, and in case of change in designation, enter the date of change in designation. In case of a new company, this date field is not required to be entered. Select the category which is not appropriate. This is not required to be selected in case of cessation. Independent category can be selected only if company is a public company. Click on the box alongside to choose the person is a chairman, executive or non-executive director. In case of alternate director, enter the valid DIN and click on the Prefill button. System will automatically display the name of the director to whom the appropriate appointee is alternate. This is not required to be entered in the case of cessation. In case of appointment of a nominee director, enter the name of the company or institution whose nominee the appointee is. This is mandatory in case of nominee director and in case of appointment or change in designation. Also, do not forget to enter the email ID also. In case of cessation, there is no need to mention. The system will automatically select director or managing director on the basis of designation selected in the eForm. Enter the date of cessation and select the reason of cessation from the drop-down list. For the case of appointment only, interesting other entries has to be filled. Enter the details of one such entity, and if the number is more than one, then user is required to attach separate sheets for such details. Click on the Prefill button. The system will automatically fill up the details. Please enter the total number of managers, secretary for which this eForm being filled in point number 6. Details of only 4 such persons can be filled through this eForm. In point number 7, enter the director's identification number, that is a DIN, if allotted, or valid income tax PAN. If it is mandatory to enter PAN if user is not mentioning DIN. The name and father's name shall be verified by PAN entered by the user. On clicking the prefill button, system shall prefill the details of the appointee like PAN, first name, middle name, last name, father's name, and present residential address. Select whether the person is being appointed or is ceasing to be associated with the company. In case of a company, only appointment can be selected. Enter the membership number of the secretary, as the same is mandatory for the designation of company secretary. Then enter the present residential address and date of birth. If the person is residing outside India, select NA in the state field from the drop-down box list and enter the country code from the list of ISO country code. Select the designation of the person from the drop-down menu. In case of appointment, enter the date of appointment, and in case of cessation, enter the date of cessation. In case of new company, this date field is not required to be entered. Kindly attach the required documents in PDF format, which will be shown in the space alongside. In the following declaration section, enter the person's full name giving declaration. In case of a new company, select the first checkbox and also one of the options from the drop-down list. In case of existing company, select the second checkbox and enter the resolution number and date of board resolution authorizing the signatory to sign. Give declaration. Enter the email ID of the person, that is manager or chief executive officer, chief financial officer or secretary, for communication purposes. Please remember, age of the person cannot be less than 18 years. Coming to the designation section, kindly select one of the options from the drop-down values. In case of a new company, director, manager, company secretary have to be selected. If director is mentioned, then mention his approved DIN. If he is a manager, enter approved DIN or valid income tax PAN. While if the person is a secretary, a valid membership has to be mentioned. In case of an existing company, kindly select director, manager, company secretary, CEO, CFO, who is digitally signing the e-form in the designation area. In the space for certificate by practicing professional, the details of his have to be filled in and digitally signed. The DSCs of the person has to be attached, but after checking on the check form tab. If there are no mistakes or any mandatory field left unattended, the DSCs of the partitioning professionals need to be attached, which would not happen before check form. If there are mistakes, then the system displays the errors. The necessary corrections or additions or alterations needed to be done by clicking the modify button and then again clicked on check form for a clear go through. On successful validation, form level pre-scrutiny is successful will be displayed, and now the DSCs are to be attached. Click on the pre-scrutiny button. System again performs some check and displays correction. Click the button once again and a no error found will come up. Then save the form in your system, as submit button is disabled at the present. Please go to the MOC site from your browser and logging into it by filling up the boxes of the user ID, password, category and the captcha provided therein. By clicking on submit, it goes to the next page as shown on the screen. Click on the eForm button, which leads to the e-filling page. An eForm upload button will come up and you need to click on the eForm upload button, which will lead you to the eForm upload appellate page. Next step, you need to select file button to upload the filled up DIR12 form from your PC to the MCA site. Upon getting successfully uploaded, an SRN will be generated and it will be shown to the user, which will be used for any kind of future correspondence with MCA. There will be options on it for an on-spot payment and later payment of fees paid by the user to the ministry. If the user wants to pay the fees later, he needs to select the pay later option on the SRN page and save it to his computer for future payment. If the user makes an on-spot payment, a challan will be generated mentioning the details of the fees paid. It is the acknowledgement to the user that the e-form has been successfully filled. Hope filling of DIR12 is now easy. Please do visit our site www.helpmybiz.in for one-stop solution for any one of your queries on income tax and service tax returns, loans, insurances, and any kind of financial and legal issues. Our experienced professionals on board will surely be happy to help you. We wish you luck. Thank you.